else wants to join, they can do so, and we can continue on. All right, so let's find a comfortable seat. Couple props. And okay, roll the shoulders up and away from the ears. Keeping the chest lifted, we'll drop the nose a little bit toward the floor. I'm just starting to tune in to the inner state of your being. Letting go of the thinking mind. Letting go of any anxieties or anything you're holding on to right now. Just setting it aside. Feeling the support of the earth beneath you, just holding you easily. And seeing what you can observe in the body. Can you sense things like your heart beating, the blood moving through your veins? Can you sense any digestion or any other movement in the body? And also noticing the temperature of the body. Are you holding on to excess heat in the body? If so, use your breath, your awareness to let that go. Let it dissipate out through the skin and to release from the body. Remember, heat moves from hot to cold. So encouraging any excess heat to leave the body. Couple more breaths here, just really tuning in to the inner state of your being. Now on your next inhale, slowly open the eyes and come back into space. All right, let's take a side bend. We'll take the left hand down, the right hand up and over. We'll inhale up and over to the other side. Inhale, back up to center. We'll bring both hands back by the hips. Let's lift the center of the chest up toward the ceiling. We can do a back bend if that feels okay, and opening the front of the body. On inhale, we'll come on back up to center. Let's take the legs out wide in a straddle position, wide leg seated position. Toes up toward the ceiling, so double inner spiral on the thighs, those sit bones down. Let's come forward when you're ready. Wide leg seated forward bend. So isometrically pull from your heels back towards your tailbone. So it's like you're sliding your tailbone back behind. And coming forward with the chest as much as possible. Keeping the breath nice and full and drawing the breath down into the hips. We might be feeling the stretch the strongest. And then on inhale, we'll come on back up, keeping the legs where they are. We're going to turn toward the right leg. So try to square the shoulders over that leg, keeping the toes up. When you come on down here, walking one hand on either side. You might get to start to bend your elbows, and then if your elbows touch the floor, you can drop your nose down to your knee. On the inhale, we'll come on up from that side, and then we'll turn to the left foot. So trying to again square the shoulders, and then dropping down. Try to keep your toes up toward the ceiling. Inhale, we'll come on up from there. I'm going to turn the feet in a frog pose position. So you're going to take your pinky toe side of the feet toward the floor. And you want to make sure you're kind of connecting with your mat so they're not sliding forward. Knees out wide. So it's coming in this version of frog pose. I'm going to try to come between the feet as much as possible here. So knees out wide, the feet are connected in a place that's not going to slide. Yeah, they could be wider, they could be more narrow. It's kind of your choice here. So the knees out and open and dropping forward. It's breathing into places where you're feeling the stretch. Inhale, come on back up. Now we can release the legs and let's come on into a downward facing dog. So I'm going to clear your mat. Just kind of feeling out your down dog. You bend one knee, then the other. Coming back to a steady downward facing dog. I'm going to come forward now into either plank pose or half plank pose. Pushing down in the hands. Breathing. And abdominals in and back, downward facing dog. Keeping the breath flowing. And then forward into either plank pose or half plank pose. I'm going to come out to a side plank on the left. So I'm going to roll on out onto your left side, left hand down, right hand up. Any version of plank, if you're in full plank, you might try stacking your feet or might try lifting a leg. Push actively into the hand that's on the floor. If you're in the half version, just make sure your hips are forward. So try to take your hips in line as if they were in half plank pose. So hips a little more toward the shoulders. All right, I'm going to come on back to either your full plank or your half plank pose. Take a breath there. I'm going to come to the other side. So now the right hand is down. And either half side plank or full side plank. If you're in the half one, just make sure that your hips are forward so you still have that shoulder over your hand. Actively pushing into your right hand. Breathing here. Whatever you like to do with the feet. You might stack the feet, you might lift the leg. Come on back into your half plank or full plank. And then bend the elbows, we'll come all the way down to the floor. And then come on up, cobra pose or seal pose if you're feeling okay there. And we'll lower back down to the floor, abdominals in, half plank, and then downward facing dog. And once more, we'll come into a full plank pose this time. Push back through your heels, reach the top of the head, full plank pose. I'm gonna lift just the right leg, 3/4 plank. Actually, it's more than a 3/4 plank. 3-footed plank pose. Gonna lift the right leg, so still in plank, still trying to keep those shoulders over the hands as much as you can. And then we'll release that foot down, coming back into full plank pose. And left foot up when you're ready. Reaching back through your left heel. And then we'll bring that foot back down to the floor, come back into a plank pose, lower all the way down to the floor. Inhale, cobra pose or seal pose. And exhale back down to the floor, push up to half plank pose, and then downward facing dog. And we'll take the right foot forward for warrior one on this side. Find your feet, find your breath. Connecting with the prana, the energy in the body. From here, we're coming into pyramid pose. We're gonna straighten that front leg and come on down. If you want to use blocks here, you can. One on either side of your front foot. Pyramid pose, both legs are straight. You're going to draw that right hip back toward what's behind you, pushing the big toe of the right foot down into the mat and lengthen the spine. Trying to balance your weight between the 2 feet. So finding if there's one that's lighter than the other, the leg muscles are engaged here. If you want a little more, you can hinge at the hips and drop the chest down over the thighs. So you're going to start to drop down, leading with the heart by bending your elbows. If you want to go a little lower, you can also just stay upright. So try to not bend your front knee to meet your nose, but more of your nose comes to the knee. And then we'll come into a revolved triangle pose. We'll bring that left block just a little bit closer to your front foot. Keep that hand down. Take your right hand up toward the ceiling. So you're twisting around the spine. Connect again with your feet and the legs. See if you can lighten the load on the hand that's on the block. See if you can draw into your core to do that. Supporting legs. And of course, that length in the spine, you're twisting around that spine. On an inhale, we'll unwind and twist, coming back into pyramid, staying here, breathing. We're going to take your left hand now to the outside of your front foot. If you have another block there, you can just move your hand onto that block. So left hand outside of the right foot. And coming into that twist, find the length from your tailbone to the top of the head and stack your shoulders. Take your right hand up toward the ceiling. Coming into this version of revolved triangle pose. Again, the legs are your strength. Drawing into the core of the body, lengthening out from the tailbone to the top of the head. On inhale, we'll unwind back into pyramid pose. From here, we're going to bend your front knee to come back up to a warrior one, same side. And downward facing dog, big step back. And we'll take the left foot forward, warrior one on the other side, big step forward, find your feet, front knee bends. So we can soften the effort. Softening the effort in the brain as well as the face and the parts of the body that maybe don't need to be helping right now. From here, we're coming into pyramid pose on this side. So straighten out that front leg and come on down. Keep your blocks on either side of the foot. So now left hip draws back toward what's behind, making that leg super long. Front big toe presses down into the mat. Always extension. This posture is all about extending. Both legs extending, spine is extending. And if you're coming down lower and bending those elbows, you're trying to drop your chest down over your thighs. So trying to lean more with the front of the body rather than the chin. From here, we'll come into the first revolved triangle. So we'll bring the right block a little closer to your front big toe and then open here, left hand up toward the ceiling. So keep the legs where they are, keep that front big toe pushing down and twisting around the spine. We'll unwind that twist, coming back into our pyramid pose. Reconnecting with the length in the legs and the length in the spine. I'm going to take your right hand now to the outside of that front foot on another block if you have one. And then left hand up toward the ceiling. So again, still lengthening as you twist. Legs are your support, drawing from the floor up into your core. On inhale, unwind, come on back into pyramid pose. And take a bend of that front knee, come on up, warrior one. And downward facing dog. I'm going to bring your hands to meet your feet or your feet to meet your hands. Uttanasana, standing forward bend. Taking that tailbone up toward the ceiling, upper body dropping down. From here, we're going to come into a wide leg standing forward bend. So if you need to rotate on your mat, you can. I'm going to take the feet wide, heels out, toes in, and those hands still down on the floor. Standing wide leg forward bend. So balancing your weight from pinky toe side to big toe side. Both legs are toned, tailbone lifting up toward the ceiling. And from there, the upper body can soften down. You might be able to bend your elbows, take your head down toward the floor. And then from here, we'll straighten those arms, coming back to center. I'm going to come into triangle pose with the right foot out. So turn the feet, so right toes come in line with alongside your mat, and left foot, toes in, heel out, and make your transition into Trikonasana, triangle pose. So you can take a block with you if you like, onto the outside edge of that foot, that right foot. Bring your shoulders and your head in line with your left foot. If the triangle doesn't feel right, you can make adjustments here. Opening the hips, opening the shoulders, both legs are straight, shoulders are stacked, head, shoulders, everything in line with your left foot, your back foot. From here, let's bend your front knee, come on up, warrior two. Your Chandrasana 2. Again, if it doesn't feel right, make your adjustments. And if you don't have a block to the outside of your right foot, go ahead and grab one and move that one there. Okay, coming back into your warrior two. All right, from here, we're going to come back into Trikonasana, come back down into triangle pose, bringing your hand onto that block. And then from here, half moon pose. Take your left hand to your hip, look down at your right foot, bend your right knee, bring your back foot in just a little bit, pop it in. And then move your block forward right underneath of your shoulder, lift your left leg, stack your hip. Opening out to the side, half moon pose. Stack the hips, reach back through your heel. On your left foot, stack your shoulders. If everything seems okay there, you could take your left hand up toward the ceiling. Try to get that left foot in line with your head, really kicking up high. Pushing down into your right foot. Breathing here. All right, big step back into triangle pose. We're going to do that transition one more time. So find Trikonasana, back into triangle. Now notice the placement of the hips in triangle pose. They're open here. There's the placement of the shoulders, one stacked on top of the other. That's our goal when we're in half moon pose. Let's take a breather here. All right, as you're ready, you want to come back into half moon. So the left hand can come to your hip to start. Bend your right knee, hop your left foot in. Move your block forward. Push down into your right foot to lift that left foot up. Kick back through your heel. Try to bring the heel in line with the head. Stack the shoulders. Open the hips, stack the hip. And we'll take a big step back, coming back into triangle pose. I'm going to come on up to standing. Take a breath here. That might have felt a little bit wobbly. All right, we're going to come back to standing wide leg forward bend. Go ahead and move your block over to your left foot. But we're going to start with standing wide leg forward bend, since that's how we got into the other one. So heels out, toes in. Come on down here, standing wide leg forward bend. Now from here, we transitioned into triangle pose. So you're going to turn your left toes out, your right toes in. Your left hand will come to your block or the floor on the outside of your left foot. Stack your hips, stack the shoulders, and open the front of the body. And again, if it doesn't feel right, make those adjustments. Both feet evenly on the floor, both legs straight. Extension in the body. Taking note of the placement of the hips and the shoulders. I'm going to try to do the same thing, nice open hip when we come into our half moon pose. So right hand onto the hip, left knee bends, Back foot hops in just a bit. Move your block forward. And lift here, lifting that right hip, stacking the right hip, lift through your back foot, kick through your heel. And you could release that right hand up toward the ceiling as well. Actively pushing into your left foot down into the floor. So it's going to give you your strength. I'm going to big step back into Trikonasana, triangle pose. It's our time to make any adjustments, figure out the hips, the shoulders, and take a bit of a breather, just breathing here. As you're ready, we'll transition to our second half moon pose. Bending your front knee and then straightening that leg, lifting the right foot, kicking back through your heel, stack the hips, open the hips, stack the shoulders, right shoulder on top of left, right hand up toward the ceiling, breathing. And then a big step back, triangle pose. I think we may have forgotten warrior two on this side, so just in case, come on up, warrior two. And we'll go ahead and release the arms. Let's step the feet together. Let's do this one. Let's bring the feet close together. If you can touch your feet inside edges together, that's great. If you can't, without locking the knees, we want to just bring the legs as close together as they will go, but you can still bend your knee, both knees, still bend the knees. All right, mono leg chair pose, mono knee chair pose, arms up. Bend those knees, dropping down. Try to balance your weight across your feet here. Use your whole foot. Then bring the hands together at the heart. Keep going lower, dropping down here and the twist. Left elbow to the outside of the right knee and open. Keep the hips in line with the head. Draw the top shoulder back and twist. Squeezing the legs together. Top shoulder draws back. Thumbs start to work their way toward the center of the chest. Inhale through center. Stay low. Exhale, other side. So on that right elbow to the outside of the knee. Draw the top shoulder back. Keep the head and the hips in line. Don't swing them out. Breathing here. Inhale to center. I'm going to bring your hands to the floor and come down into hero pose. So I'm going to sit on the feet, knees bent. As long as this feels okay, I'm sitting on my feet, they're tucked together. If this feels fine, you're good. If you need to make some adjustments, you could have something underneath your hips and the feet a little wider. Yeah, good. Just want to find a posture that allows you to be upright here. So shoulders back and down, chest lifting. Hands resting comfortably on the thighs or the knees. I'm going to drop your nose just a little bit down toward the floor. And I'd like you to notice your breath through your nostrils. Left and right sides of the left and right nostrils. Is there one that's more open than the other one? I'm going to do a little Nadi Shodhana or alternate nostril breathing to clear the channels to move the prana through the body. So the way this will work is you will use your, I'm not going to mirror here, you're going to use your right hand. Always use your right hand to block off your nostrils. So the way you'll do this is you'll block off your right side, breathe in through your left till you fully inhale, and then switch and block off your left side and exhale out the right side. So typically you'll use your thumb and your ring finger. You can also use your thumb and your middle finger, whichever one feels more comfortable. So the part that you'll pinch is right at the end of the hard part of the bone, right where it meets the soft cartilage. That's where you're pushing off in order to cut off the air. So you'll make an A shape in through the left side, out through the right side, and then you'll come back up through the right side and out through the left. So you can do that a few times. Inhaling up through your left side, switching at the top of your inhale. Exhale out the right side. Keep that side still pinched off. Inhale up the same side. Switch the top of your inhale. Exhale out the other side. So you can move back and forth at your own pace here. You're switching at the top of the inhale. Since we started on the left side, the next time that you exhale out the left side, you're going to release your hand, but still keep a visualization of the same pattern. And then releasing the visualization, notice instead, how are you breathing naturally through each nostril? Is it the same as it was, or is one or the other side more open? Okay, from here now, you can open your eyes. Taking note of just the effect that that had on the body. We went from a heating place to a cooling place. I'm going to come on now all the way onto the back. Knees bent, feet on the floor. And then let's kick both feet up and over your head. You can reach up and grab your legs. You might be able to grab your feet, starting to pull them over your head. So try to keep your hips down on the floor. Try to keep the back nice and long. And then holding each leg with one hand, I'm going to take the legs out wide in the straddle position. And we'll draw the soles of the feet together for a Baddha Konasana. You can hold on to your feet or your ankles and start to pull them in, and the knees go out wide. Release the feet and bring them down onto the mat. Extend your right leg long on the floor. Right leg long, pick up your left foot and place it on the right thigh. And then take your right hand onto your left knee and roll all the way over onto the floor. So you're going to roll your left knee down toward the floor. And left shoulder drops down to the floor the opposite way, opening the chest. And last part, if you want, bend your right knee
Reach down with your left hand and grab a hold of your right foot. And then drop that left shoulder back down to the floor. So maybe in this star kind of shape. And then release the right foot and roll on back to center. And we'll come on to the other side. So extend your left leg long, right foot on the left thigh. Left hand grabs a hold of the right knee and draw it all the way down toward the floor on the left side. Drop the right shoulder down toward the floor. And then last part, bend your left knee, reach down with your right hand to grab a hold of the foot, and then keep dropping that right shoulder back down. And release the left foot and roll on back to center. And we can work your way into Shavasana, corpse pose.
Bring the awareness back to the breath and the body. And just take note for how you're doing now. How's the being now at the end of practice? And are there aspects that we like to carry through the rest of our evening? Allow some movement to return to the body. And as you're ready, make your way to a seated position. Thank you for joining. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Take care of yourselves, drink lots of water, and I will see you in class again. Namaste.